You don't lack talent, you lack discipline. And I think more than anything, that statement is true, especially in today's society, especially in today's world, that it's not that you lack the talent, the skill, any of that stuff to achieve incredible results in whatever aspect you want to look at. What you lack is discipline. It's this one that gets spoken about, in my world at least, a lot. This concept of, I wish I could have a physique like you. I wish I could have a business, a body, a health, a relationship, a life like you. You can. What I have done is nothing special. What I have done is not that unique. It just requires discipline. I was not gifted, I was not blessed, I was not bestowed anything more than the average person. I just have discipline. And especially if we're talking physique. Like, it is not something that comes natural to me. It is not something that comes easily to me. Building muscle, burning fat, any of those things is not something I excel at. I am just consistent as fuck at it. And that's why in my 30s, I'm in better shape than I have ever been. Because I am not gifted, I am just consistent. And that is where the power comes from. That is where you can override everything. You don't lack talent, you lack discipline. And discipline, in my mind, is a skill. It is something that can be acquired. It is not something that you are born with. It is something that you learn. It is something that you develop over time through consistent action. That's why my whole thing is built around it. It is about developing discipline. It is about building that skill set. It is about pushing through and building that up. That is what we're here for. That is what we are doing. And that is all that you need, is to develop your discipline muscle, stronger than anyone else's, and you can achieve anything. And it sounds cliche, and it sounds like absolute bullshit, but it's true. Through discipline and consistency, you can achieve anything. Discipline isn't punishment. It isn't a restriction. It is freedom. Discipline allows you to lead the life that you want. Discipline in exercise, discipline in fitness, through business, through growth, through all of these areas. Discipline allows you to have the freedom to do whatever you want. My discipline in my exercise regime means that I can do pretty much anything I want at any time. I can take on any skill and I can learn it. And I know that my body will hold strong and allow me to do those things because I have put in the effort and the discipline that means I am capable of those things. And that is the difference. That it is discipline over anything. And you often hear the one of, it's a Jimmy Carr quote, and I thought it was fantastic. And he's like, they envy the results, they don't envy the journey. And ain't that the truth? Because I had a guy comment to me, and to be honest, I was completely flattered because I'm an extreme perfectionist, and I often don't note my own wins, but that's reality. And he was like, mate, you look absolutely incredible. What are you doing? What is the secret? And I don't hide these things. I share openly what I do. I share all the details of 126. I share how I eat with an animal-based diet. I share how I structure my weighted walks. I share all of the things I do. What I provide and sell is accountability and implementation. So I told him what I do. And he was like, oh, fuck no, I can't do that. And I was like, why? Why can't you do that? And he's like, oh, that's too difficult. It would take up too much time. And I was like, it's 45 minutes a day for a weighted walk, 45 minutes a day for a weight workout. And to be honest, you could just start with the weighted walk. And then when it comes to food, literally just pick meat and fruit. And that's it. These aren't complex things. As I said, most of these things aren't complex. They're relatively simple. They're not easy, but they're simple if you're willing to commit and do those kinds of things. But he decided that was beyond him. He decided that was too much effort. And I was like, this is the difference. You don't lack the talent. You don't lack the ability to achieve these results. You lack the discipline and the fortitude to commit to it. Because, as I said, my 30-day weighted walk challenge, it's 30 days, 45 minutes a day. That's fucking it. That is not a big ask. That is not a tall order. And I can guarantee you everybody has 45 minutes a day to commit to something. I have 2 young children. One is 2 and one is 3. I have a wife. I have a business that I run. I spend 40 hours a week on the gym floor before I do other work, before I get on here and do this stuff. I have commitments, and I can make time because it's a priority to me, because it matters to me, and I value that I get this shit done. And that is the difference. That I have the discipline to do this every single day. That I don't even question it. That I have ingrained this so heavily in myself that I don't question this anymore. I just know for a fact that every day when I wake up, I am going for a weighted walk. Every day when I wake up, I am going to work out. End of fucking story. That is what is happening. No ifs or buts, because I have that discipline. And that discipline opens up freedom, because I don't have to think about it. I don't have to question what I'm going to do today. I already know. I already know what's happening. Every single day. No days off. And granted, I'm only like, I don't know, 163, 64, something like that, days into this process. But there'll be no days off. It's going to go to 365, and then it's going to go on and on and on. This is just who I am, because that's the level of discipline that I have established, that this is who I am. You don't lack talent, you lack discipline. And as I said, I'm trying to transfer this discipline into other areas, the areas that I struggle with, because when you can create the discipline in all the areas, clearly your life gets better. I am at the moment nailing the health and fitness version. I am nailing the physique version. I have nailed that fucking discipline beyond a shadow of a doubt. Now I need to nail it in the other areas. I need to nail it in business. I need to nail it in finances. I need to nail it in those other areas that I am not as strong as this. And yeah, I have been doing this a long time. But if you know my story, it doesn't mean that it comes naturally to me. I've fucked it all up. I've been here before and I fucked it all up because I lost that discipline. I lost that skill set of discipline, and I had to rebuild it. I had to redefine it. I had to build that muscle. And I didn't start out going, it's going to be 160 plus days or 365 days or even the 126 or the 126 to greatness. I started with day 1 and I fucking nailed day 1. And then I focused on day 2 and I nailed day 2. And so on and so forth. I just stack the wins daily. Most of the time I'm not focused on down the track. I am not focused on what is coming next. I am just focused on today. What am I in control of today? And when you make massive changes in your life, that is what's required. Fuck, it's what they teach in AA and, the 12-step programs or any of those choices. That when you are making massive changes, you cannot focus on this being forever. You focus on day 1, and then day 2, and then day 3, and you just nail today, and you stack those wins, because you do not lack talent, you lack the discipline. And the more disciplined you become, the more you'll discover that you have talent in those areas. The more you discover that momentum builds and you get better and better and better at these things, that you'll find that all the other stuff that maybe you didn't think you were good at, suddenly you become really fucking good at. And the bar is on the floor for these acquisitions of skills. Because, what is it? If you spend 5 minutes a day on a skill for 100 days in a row, in 100 days you'd be in the top 5% of the population of that skill. Now the gap between being the top 5% and 1% is astronomical, but still you are better than 95% of the population in that area. The bar is on the floor for acquiring skills and becoming really fucking proficient at things. All it requires is daily attention. It requires consistent effort. It requires discipline. Because you don't lack the talent, you lack the discipline to enforce it. And honestly, in my opinion, discipline is the greatest, without fail, skill, talent that you could ever acquire. But it's a muscle, and it must be trained every single day. You must define your discipline and do it every single day. But if you can acquire this skill, you can apply it to anything and become incredible at it. And don't focus on how long you're going to do things for. Just focus on winning the day. That is how you make discipline simple. Did I win today? You make it fucking binary. Yes, no. Yes, tick. The next day. Did I win the day? Yes, no. Tick. And just keep stacking them up. And just keep stacking them up. Until you've amassed this massive mountain of evidence of your discipline and your commitment and your follow through to do the fucking work. That, my friend, is how you change your life. That, my friend, is how you become the best version of yourself. That, my friend, is how you change the game. So, that's all I have for you. That's what is required at this point. And the question is, do you have what it takes to build that discipline muscle, to do the work every single day? Because I believe you do. I believe you have what it takes. So it's time to commit. It's time to build that discipline muscle. Now, if you are ready to do the work, to figure it out, to make a commitment and do something daily that is going to build that discipline muscle, message me. Let's get you into my 30-day weighted walk challenge and watch how quickly you develop that muscle, how quickly it transforms your life, how quickly you can change everything in your world, how much that discipline muscle can be built in just a 30-day span by just focusing on day 1, then day 2, and stacking those wins. If you're not quite there yet, that's all right. Click the link in my bio, grab my top 10 tools to build mental toughness, and join the Daily Greatness Mail, where you'll get daily tips on how to become the best version of it, how to build that discipline muscle. And lastly, if you took value from this, if it served you, if you feel inspired by it, or anything along those lines, please like, comment, subscribe, help me spread this movement, help me grow this, and send it to someone who needs to hear this. But until then,